I am Courtney Deadman. I am a special education teacher in Traverse City, Michigan. I've been teaching for about 20 years now.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, Courtney.
Thank you.
All right. 20 years.
Yes.
All right. What do you currently teach?
K through 5 resource room.
Resource room.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So our students with special needs.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for doing that.
Yes.
It takes a special person with a special heart to do that for our students. And that's definitely a much needed spot to fill. And quite possibly one of the most difficult spots to fill at any campus, right?
At times, yes, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this episode is being recorded on location at MACUL in Detroit, Michigan. So is this your first MACUL?
This is my very first MACUL experience, yes.
Okay. Is this your first conference?
Not my first ever conference. No, it's my first MACUL conference.
Okay.
I've never been to a MACUL conference before.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So that's what we're going to discuss today and kind of the strategy that you have with this conference. So are you here on your own? Are you here with your team?
Nope, I came on my own. So there are other people from my district here, but I kind of just came down on my own. I was excited. I've always wanted to come, and they had a grant opportunity this year, so I was able to apply for that and able to come down, and it worked out. So I was very excited to be able to have the opportunity to do that this year.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what drew you to MACUL? You said you've always wanted to come to MACUL.
Yes. So this year, I think more than ever, with AI becoming more and more prevalent in not just in the world itself, but especially in schools, using it not only for myself, but how best to support students. So just being able to come down here and get new ideas and how to best support my students and what I can do for them to help them access the curriculum easier and just feel more included in what they do.
Okay.
So,
all right. So it was that AI draw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How many, or what are some of the sessions that you've already hit?
So I've gone to a couple UDL sessions, universally designed. A couple of those sessions, and those have been great. I did a Google session. This morning I went to see Jordan Zimmerman. She was amazing.
Okay.
She's an advocate for people with disabilities. She has autism herself.
I didn't know that.
Non-speaking autism. And she was amazing to listen to. So she has an iPad device that she uses AI, and she did her whole speech with an iPad, and it was awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. So that was extremely motivating.
Okay. I really wish I would have gone to see that.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So do you have a strategy for this conference? I know you said you're here, you have other people from your district, but not necessarily from your team.
Correct.
Were you in communication with them at all during this?
Our ed coach is here, or our tech coach is here from the district, and she gave me a few different ideas of things to go to, but really I didn't really have a strategy. It kind of came down and I've been looking through the menu of sorts.
There you go. Everything's food related.
Yeah,
everything's food related.
Yeah. And just trying to see what would best fit for myself personally. And again, like I said, how could I support my students, and what would work best for me, and how to help them, or, also, is there anything that I could use in the whole special education realm of, is there anything that helps with IEP writing or goal setting or any of that? So I just kind of went through and narrowed it down to those types of sessions first, and then dove a little deeper into what their descriptions were, and then kind of picked based off of that what would best suit my needs. So,
okay. All right. So I'm going to kind of take this away from MACUL
Yeah.
and just focus on conferences in general. There's a couple of different approaches that people will have when they come to conferences. If they come with the team or with the specialist or what have you, they usually do a divide and conquer. Like, I'll do these sessions, you do those kind of thing.
Right.
But let's not end up at the same session together. That way we can kind of come together maybe at lunch or at the end of the day in the evening and compare notes and kind of learn from each other and things like that. So did you coordinate at all with your specialist who's here as well?
I did not.
Okay.
No, I didn't happen to do that, but I haven't seen her in any of my sessions. So.
That's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. Yeah. So there's that approach. And then there's obviously the approach of, I came with a goal. I wanted to learn about X, Y, and Z. You wanted to come to learn about not IEPs, AI. There's all these acronyms.
Yes.
AI specifically to help you support your students, with also maybe some caveats of IEP writing and goal writing and things like that. So what is your note-taking process?
Honestly, it's been listening and soaking up as much as possible. What has been nice is the sessions that I have been in have had slides or handouts that they have emailed and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So being able to just fully immerse myself and listen has been wonderful. I also, as the slides are going through, I am still a pen and paper type of person as well.
Got it. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
So I do that, but I do use my Rocketbook to do that. So I can upload my notes into, my computer and share those as well. So, so I'm growing a little bit on that aspect, but yeah.
All right. So you have your notes, you have your sessions that you've hit, you've got your slide decks from those people that are presenting, and that's only half the conference, in my opinion. The other half is the people, the connections, those new bonds that we start making with people. What can you say about your experiences at MACUL when it comes to people?
Yeah. Well, I have to say, quite honestly, last night, the tour was probably...
Talk about it.
Yeah.
The walking food tour that we did.
Yeah, the walking food tour. It really was. It was amazing. My tech coach recommended it. And I thought, I'm down here by myself, better than going to sit in the hotel restaurant by myself and, ordering a burger. Let's get out and meet some people and try some new foods. So I did it. It came down and met you guys here, and right away met someone and started talking, and come to find out she is a special education technology coach in the States. So quite just how ironic, that right away I met someone else that had to do with special education. And we hit it off right away. And so started talking to her and met her and got her name. And we chatted throughout the tour. Met another woman who wrote some books about technology education geared toward younger students.
Okay.
So that was really cool. And then met some people, met the Brisk team and talking a little bit about that. Yeah. And then met some other people that I'm going to go talk to today about their programs. And it was just great. It was like, oh, okay, we are kind of all here for the same reasons, to help our students. And it made me feel not quite so alone, I guess, coming down here alone. And there are how many hundreds of people here?
There's a couple thousand here. And you could feel so alone at times, because you feel like, oh, the only one here. I don't really want to come out of my comfort zone yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You made yourself vulnerable.
I did.
Okay.
I did. And it was actually a pretty big step. I was texting some of my friends last night. They're like, you did what?
Is this really you?
Yeah.
Did somebody hack your phone? Okay, that's good.
So
that's
it
really
really
good.
was yesterday that was probably the best session I did, as far as meeting those people. And today so far it's been, listening to Jordan Zimmerman, and it's been really great.
Would you say that your cup is just a little bit more full today than it was before you even pulled up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Again, just knowing, I've been I walked in this morning like, oh, will I see anybody that I met last night? Just watching for that, and just, like I said, feeling like I made connections, like I'm not the only one here. Again, there's thousands of people here, but now I feel like I know people.
Yes. Are you going to be attending ISTE by any chance in San Antonio?
I am not this year.
You are not. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you're watching or listening and you're thinking about attending ISTE, or you've been offered by your district to participate and attend the ISTE conference in San Antonio, if you're listening to this, spring of 2025, I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but there's always a conference. Any of the 4 seasons, there's always a conference or 2 or 3, and you might be given the opportunity to attend, but you might not want to because, number one, they might only offer it to you. So there might be going solo, going on your own. Number 2, you're not ready for it, or you don't want to go. Maybe somebody's tainted perception of a previous bad conference experience kind of already gave you some preconceived notions on it. But I would encourage you to give it a shot, to try to go with an open mind. And my shameless plug for the walking food tour, but if there's always events, like last night was event night. There were like 6 different events that were going on.
Right.
There's something going on for everybody.
There is.
There's something going on for everybody, and I guarantee you, if you just make yourself a little bit vulnerable,
step outside your comfort zone a little bit.
Yes.
And I definitely stepped outside of mine. I am not a super outgoing person. I'm much more of an introvert, and definitely pushed myself to come down here on my own and attend this, and then go to the walking food tour on my own, not knowing who was going to sign up for that. That was a huge step.
And I thank you for doing so. I thank you for doing so.
But I would definitely encourage people, if you have a chance, if you have an opportunity, take it and do it. And if you get one new thing out of it, and that's where I was hoping, doing this job for 20 years, yes, things change, but in the same sense, they can be monotonous in a sense as well.
Yeah.
So I was really hoping as well to kind of spark something again, go back with something new and exciting. And I think I kind of did spark something already, especially listening this morning to the talk that I heard. And so I'm excited to go back and share some of the things that I've heard and learned so far. And so take a chance, take a risk, be vulnerable.
That's the word I'm looking for right there, that vulnerability.
Yeah.
If you just kind of make yourself a little bit vulnerable, great things can happen.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Now, let's go back to the food. Those of you who didn't attend, if you're listening,
it was
watching,
delicious.
Here's what we did. We started off with some Greek salad, tandoori chicken wings, and
truffle chicken wings.
Parmesan truffle, I think it was,
Yeah.
with garlic, something like that.
And
samosas. With 2 different chutneys.
And I will say I'm a picky eater.
Yeah.
So I was also nervous about this tour because I am a picky eater, and I ate everything on the tour and enjoyed it.
Okay.
So
that warms my heart. That warms my heart. So we went from there, and then we went and we had pizza, which also had garlic knots on the side, which also had bumblebee truffle. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that, you got to check out Moot's Pizzeria here in Detroit. Burrata cheese, which is that soft mozzarella, cranberry focaccia bread, but on that burrata cheese, they had honey, bee pollen. When I read it, I was like, am I reading this right? And a chunk of the honeycomb.
Yes, and a little bit of fig.
And fig, that's
yes,
right.
There was a little bit
And
of fig on there as well.
I had 2 servings of that. It was so good.
I was like, in a pizzeria, this? Like,
yeah.
How do they come up? It was delicious.
Insanely. As I described it to somebody last night, stupid good.
Yes.
Just stupid
It
delicious.
Yeah. My little dish was cleared.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It
I
was
got a
empty.
little embarrassed. I kind of looked around and I did one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cleaned it up like a Thanksgiving plate.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
I know when you were describing it when we were at the restaurant and you're like, yeah, there's a little bit of honeycomb in there. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and then when you get to it and you start chewing it with a little bit of like that little salty cheese and sweet honey, it was so good. My mouth watered.
Yes.
I haven't had breakfast. And then after that, we did soul food, which was we had collard greens, we had candied yams, we had mac and cheese, we had fried chicken thighs, and then peach cobbler and Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Man, did that just kind of
put everybody all together.
That put everybody just
and it was kind of nostalgic, the Kool-Aid. I don't remember the last time I've had Kool-Aid.
I had an unsweet tea because I
had the Kool-Aid and I was like, ooh,
yeah.
Remind me of being 10 years old again. I haven't had Kool-Aid in forever, and it was delicious. Everything everywhere was delicious.
Yeah, it was definitely one for the books, this food tour, and I'm glad that you attended it. And I'm not saying that as a shameless plug.
No,
obviously it is a shameless plug.
It was an experience to get out. I met some new people and made some connections, and like I said, I'm gonna go meet some of those people today and talk to them. And
good for you.
Yeah, and on top of it, the food was definitely a bonus. And yeah.
So you kind of touched upon it earlier, but I think I'd like a little bit more explicit. So if you were to give somebody who's never attended a conference, but they're going to, if you were to give them a piece of advice or a couple pieces of advice, a couple nuggets for them to think about and really put into action when attending their first conference of this magnitude, what advice would you give somebody?
I think one of the things would be, what are you trying to get out of it? Like, why are you going to the conference? So again, I was coming to learn some new tools. So based on that, picking your sessions based on that. Also, don't be afraid to reach out and meet new people. You never know who you're going to run into or who you're going to meet or what connections you can make. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and do that. And again, have fun. Have fun.
That's it right there.
These conferences, someone said, because it's the start of my spring break. Today's the official start of my spring break.
Okay.
People are like, you're going to a conference on your spring break? And it's like, yeah, but I'm excited about it, So make it fun, make it enjoyable, and just learn new things.
All right, yeah, learn new things. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to flip it on you a little bit. You've been in education 20 years, you said?
Yes.
Okay. You have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Would you consider presenting or putting in an application for a submission to present at a conference? Are you there yet?
I don't think I'm there yet.
Okay. Well, I'm pushing back. And here's why. I was just having this conversation yesterday with Carly Delo. I'm at that point where I'm seeing the new batch of teachers, the new generation that's coming in, and the generations that have come in just a couple of years, 3-4 years ago. And I see the younger me in them, and I also see what some people didn't necessarily teach me, show me, and at the same time, I also see what I didn't sought out for. What I didn't actually ask, the questions I didn't ask. So I'm very intentional now about giving back and taking my expertise and passing it on to, those who came after me. And I'm going to push back to your statement and say, whether you believe it or not, you have a lot to offer teachers who have not been in it 20 years. And also, there are teachers who've probably been in it longer than you have who will learn something new from you, especially with your background in special education. So I'm not sure if you're going to accept my challenge, but I challenge you to put in a submission for maybe next year MACUL.
I will contemplate. I will think about it.
Okay.
I will give you that much. I will think about it.
Just think of yourself 20 years ago and what you didn't know, and think of that possible person, first year teacher, first year resource sped inclusion teacher, or what have you, who might be coming to a session that, like you said, I came with intention of learning something new and what you could possibly teach them. So keep that in perspective.
Okay.
Think of the younger you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Now, I have one final question that I ask about. I'd like to say 100% of my guests, but I'm going to be honest with you, I forget sometimes. It's $1 million question, and it's quite possibly the most difficult question you'll be asked all conference long. Are you ready?
Okay.
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla?
Oh.
Go with your gut.
Flour tortilla.
Okay. I respect a good flour tortilla.
Yes.
I'm a corn tortilla kind of guy. So
it truly depends. If I go with my gut, I have to say flour, but it really,
different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you on social media at all?
Not
That's my
consistently.
That's my other challenge and pushback to you is, okay, all right.
I mean, I am, but yeah.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much.
I hope you go back after your spring break with your bucket full, not only of everything that you were able to do over your spring break with your family, friends, and loved ones, but with what you got from the conference that you could turn around, take back, and put into action with your students.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for being a part of the show.
Absolutely. And thank you for the walking food tour. That was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shameless plug. I love it.